fix my Mauser rifle that was shooting too high. I have this spotlighted Mauser K98 style military surface rifle. It had one problem. It used to shoot too high, like 13-inch too high at 50 yards and 20-inch too high at 100 yards. Here we have an example. This example was from shooting at a target at 50 yards. It looks like it shot okay, but I was actually aiming at a spot 13.5 inches below this target. The reason why it was shooting high may have to do with the possibility that it was calibrated to shoot correctly at 200 yards. The rear sight of this rifle is actually starting from 200 yards. I doubt I can put anything on paper at 200 yards using iron sight. Someone else may be able to do this, just not me. Not with my old eyes anyway. I want to use this iron sight of this rifle to shoot at 100 yards target. I need to find a way to make it shoot at point of aim at 100 yards. The immediate thing that I did was to aim the front sight a bit lower than normal. By lowering the front sight, I could lower the point of impact. I did this by putting the top of the front sight post at the bottom of the V-notch of the rear sight. The result was a bit better than before. This example was from shooting at a target at 100 yards. It looks like it shot okay, but I was actually aiming at a spot 14.5 inches below this target. Yes, in this case, aiming low could lower the point of impact from 20 inches too high down to 14.5 inches too high. This was a 5.5 inches improvement. Still, this was not good enough. I went back and did some research to see how to fix this problem. Based on my research on the way to fix this problem, seems like the most common recommendation is to replace the front sight post with a taller version, like this one that is available in brand nails. But I prefer to try a simple alternative first, before trying anything that involves changing anything in the rifle. Some people said that using lightweight bullets can lower the point of impact. I hand-loaded some 8mm ammo with 150 grain bullets. The standard military 8mm ammo uses 198 grain bullets. Therefore, a 150 grain bullet is around 25% lighter than the standard. I load the ammo using many different powder charges, from the minimum starting load to the maximum load. Unfortunately, the result was disappointing. There was no difference between using the lighter bullets and the standard heavy bullets. This is a scaled-down version of the targets that I used to test the use of lighter bullets. All were shot at 50 yards. I aimed at the target in the bottom, but all the shots end up in the target at the top. That was 1 foot above. Same thing happened to the target in the right-hand side. Shot too high. The result was identical to the result from using the standard heavy bullets. This means the simple alternative didn't work for this rifle. I had to fix the problem by replacing the front sight post with a taller version. I bought this taller front sight post from brand nails, and then I removed the original front sight post from the rifle. I didn't take any picture of how I removed the original fun side post. If you need to see how this is done, there are YouTube videos show you how to do this. The general idea is to use a wood block placed under the fun side post and then use a nail set and a hammer to remove the fun side post. I have two suggestions. First, you need to find out the correct direction to remove the fun side post. The slot where the fun side post is mounted on is tapered. The fun side post can only be removed from one direction. Mine has to be removed from right to left. If you find that you cannot remove it from one direction, you should stop right away and try a different direction. My second suggestion is to ask someone to hold the rifle and also to hold the wood block placed under the fun side post. Then you can focus on using the nail set and the hammer to remove the fun side post. Trying to do all this by yourself is difficult, unless you have fabricated a jig to hold the rifle and the wood block on a stable platform. This is much easier just to ask someone to help you. The way to mount the new fun side post is the reverse of the way to remove the original fun side post. The only difference was that I used this fun side adjusting tool to center the fun side post after I have it engaged into the slot. I will use this tool again to drift the fun side post to the final location in the shooting range. The new fun side post is much taller than the original fun side post. The original fun side post is like 0.2 inches. According to the specification of the new fun side post in Barnell's website, the new one is 0.375 inch tall. I didn't need to measure it, and I could tell that the new one was taller. Actually, it was much taller than what I wanted to be. I had to follow it down a bit even before I went to the shooting range for test firing. One thing to point out was that the original fun side post has a pointy top. The new fun side post has a square top. When I followed down the new fun side post, I kept the square profile. The square profile leaves a bit less empty space left and right to it when viewing from the V-large of the rear sight. I believe this helped me to shoot more accurately than having too much space around the fun side post. I bought the rifle, 40 rounds of ammo, a small flat file, the fun side adjusting tool, and a black permanent marker to the shooting range. The black permanent marker was to darken the area that I had filed down to make it not reflecting the sunlight. The whole process included test firing the rifle, file down the fun side post, drifting it a bit to the left, blacken it, and repeat. Finally, I had it to shoot at where I aimed at 100 yards. And then I shoot some more just to confirm the new fun side post worked properly. The final height of the new fun side post is like 0.3 inch. The original fun side post was 0.2 inch. This means I raised the fun side post by 0.1 inch to lower the point of impact by 1 foot at 100 yards. At the end, I used this cold blue chemical to permanently darken the fun side post. And I also use this wear sight to replace the original one. This one starts from 100 yards instead of 200 yards, and it perfectly matches what the rifle is now calibrated to. This project is done. I have just said that I was done with this project. Actually, it was not done. I found that the taller new front sight post could easily get caught in a gun case that has soft liner. I attached a front sight hood to avoid this problem. Now this project is really done. I make this video to show how easy that was to replace the front sight post. There was really no reason not to do this if your Mauser rifle shoots too high. If you are afraid that this may permanently change the appearance of a military service rifle, you can always keep the original front sight post around for future use. Good luck.